at the conference at Civic Ideas, I presented on foreign transnational repression, as it is now being seen as a massive challenge to democracy worldwide. Foreign transnational repression is the ways in which authoritarian regimes suppress dissent overseas, and it extends to both citizens and to members of the diaspora living overseas. This is a significant challenge to democracies and democratization and resiliency, because it impedes on civil and political liberties, and also interferes with rule of law in different countries and spreads authoritarianism. At this conference, I presented on how foreign transnational repression impacts certain communities that are impacted by the People's Republic of China. Mm-hmm. And this includes those who are Chinese dissidents, Hong Kongers, Tibetans, Uyghurs, and many other ethnic minorities. In our research, we conducted qualitative interviews to ask those what key tactics they see within foreign transnational repression, and also how that impacts them on a daily life. And I think that's a really important thing to remember. Foreign transnational repression has impacted people on a mental health and has exacerbated mental health issues, and as well as we have a lack of resources in the community to address foreign transnational repression. And at the moment right now, we're seeing that most liberal democracies are struggling to counter foreign transnational repression as well. One of the key challenges is that I think local authorities are unaware that many communities in Western or liberal democracies are facing this challenge, so don't know how to respond when they receive reports. A lot of victims have stated that they face a number of issues such as fragmented advice, unsure where to turn to, and often receiving the runaround from various authorities. And they are starting to feel quite hopeless and helpless against this. So in terms of the People's Republic of China, at the moment, they are conducting one of the most sophisticated and largest global scale of foreign transnational repression that we're seeing. And it is something that foreign transnational repression is not new, but I think in recent years it's received more attention, so we're becoming more aware of it. But this has been an ongoing problem for a number of years. And we know that right now key tactics have evolved over the years, including with the advent of technology. So we're starting to see more uses of what we call digital transnational repression. So we see phishing emails, we see hacking, we're seeing personal information of both the victims and their family members being published online, which can lead to real life consequences of being intimidated and stalked in real life. We've also seen a lot of cyber attacks trying to take down organizations' websites, and advocacy organization, their websites too. And we're seeing more on top of that, there are other ways that foreign transnational repression happens, but one of the most significant ways the PRC exerts their influence is through intimidating family members and loved ones and friends who continue to live in the PRC or PRC-controlled territories. Yesterday, I talked about something called, in Chinese, it's called he ca, which literally means to drink tea, but it's a euphemism. And when you are invited to drink tea, that often means that you have been invited by the local, or you are being detained by police to be questioned for your activities. This was happening to a lot of dissidents who were living in the People's Republic of China, but now it's extended to family members and friends, and often family members who continue to live in the PRC are being called in and interrogated and questioned for their loved ones' overseas advocacy. One interviewee stated that they have accepted the consequences of not being able to, for continuing their advocacy overseas, but they're constantly worried about their family members back home, and for them to be taken in by the police. And finally, we have seen another key tactic is harassment and intimidation in real life. This often happens at sites of protests and public-facing advocacies where people have been threatened to have their photos taken and sent to the Chinese embassy, have been physically attacked at sites of protests, and have been followed. We had a few participants note that they've actually been physically assaulted as well too. So it's a range of tactics, it's a range of strategies. Overall, that's been quite effective at silencing and suppressing any dissent overseas. And this also includes, while foreign transnational repression affects anyone who is critical of the regime, the Chinese diaspora communities are facing the brunt of foreign transnational repression. Within our study, we asked our participants what are the impacts that they feel. And one is paranoia. They're often very worried about being surveyed and followed. This has led to significant trust issues. They're not too sure who to be friends with in their new communities, in new countries of residence. They're not too sure who they can turn to or be supported by because they're worried about information being leaked. And one of the other things that they have stated, many of our participants have completely severed ties with family members and friends back in the PRC or in PRC-controlled territories because of the worry that they're going to be intimidated and interrogated by authorities. And so that also leads to further isolation of participants. And finally, the biggest thing right now is they don't know who to turn to for mental health resources. They don't know who to trust. There's no real efforts by many governments to address this challenge within these communities. They're often left on their own, and it's a very isolating feeling to be targeted by foreign transnational repression.